I'm out of the matrix. Like Truman in the Truman Show, my character left the stage. Recently, I informed my mother that my roles as her daughter and the mother of two children is finished. I provided an extensive explanation, although I knew she is incapable of understanding. I had anticipated her response, which was, I have never in my life been so hurt and disrespected. I chose to make this video in order to provide a record of my explanation, but mostly I'm making it for myself. I evolve in consciousness every time I create videos. Further, sharing information and releasing this energy to the universe provides others the opportunity to benefit. I started my awakening over 22 years ago, in early 2002. David Icke says, we're not awake, we are awakening. The evolutionary path is long and complex. In 2012, I attended a 2-day Persistence workshop. This was during my bail time, and shortly before I took the decision to leave the social system and my subsequent 2-year incarceration. I had read all the books written by Dr. Guylaine Langto and all the Persistence booklets available at the time. And yet, at the workshop given by Mado, I was confronted by the fact that I was not at the consciousness level of a mare, but in fact, I was at the consciousness level of the spiritualized yellow sheep. At the time, I was not even aware that a yellow sheep existed. I had only seen charts of the white and black sheep. I learned that the yellow sheep consciousness is even more egotistical and therefore potentially more dangerous than the black sheep consciousness. I was in black sheep consciousness most of my life until my awakening started. My ego led me to the false conclusion that I was at the mere consciousness level. My 2-year incarceration served me immensely. It aggressively pushed me on my journey of identifying and then letting go, one by one, of my many egoic personalities. The first huge personality I had to let go was one of the successful dentist and businesswoman. I understood and eventually accepted that my decision to leave the social system implied that I can no longer play the role of the dentist. I absolutely loved being a dentist. I had a natural talent, and my hands easily created beautiful dental work. I was also very successful at the overall dental business, and therefore made a lot of money. It was clear that I not only had to let go of dentistry, but also of $5 million in personal wealth. The Canadian system did not want to lose a very profitable taxpayer. Therefore, I had to leave Canada and never return. Once the Canadian legal system found me in Colombia, it tried to force Colombia to extradite me. The law in Colombia is clear. Non-payment of income tax is not a criminal offense, and therefore Colombia did not extradite me. At that stage, I was at a level of consciousness in which the system had no more control over me. On this chart of the 7 levels of ascension, I had reached level 5 of awareness, brightness, or number 3 in the tower. I could clearly see all the white sheep in the distance. What I did not yet integrate is that I was still at the yellow sheep level of consciousness. That was back in early 2018. When COVID started, I became convinced that I could finally be able to show my family members the evidence of all the lies in the system. To this day, mid-June 2024, all of my family members are at the white sheep level of consciousness. Initially, I was calling my mother every week. Once it became obvious that I was irritating her more than anything with my preaching, as she called it, I reduced the calls to once a month. Finally, a couple of significant events transpired, first with my son, then with my daughter. I was faced with the evidence that I could no longer lie to myself and continue to hope that my children will one day be able to understand me. Further, I was ready to accept that all of my family members will never respect my decision to leave the corrupt, insane system. For 22 years, I tried every possible way to communicate truth consciousness to my family, and in the end, I concluded that I am energetically so far away from all of my family members that there is absolutely nothing more to say. I finally faced my greatest fear, the fear of completely disconnecting from my family. Religious attachments are very strong for most people. I call it, don't touch my Jesus. As strong as religious attachments are, they are nothing compared to family attachments, because the family relationship is the connection to the survival of the species. The intelligent animal survival program is so deep that family detachment cannot be faced by most. It became clear to me that if I leave the stage and write my character out of the play, I can no longer offer advice, make comments or suggestions, or provide any type of guidance or information, because I am now a spectator of the play and completely out of the drama. This visual has been very helpful to me. I am all alone on my evolutionary journey. However, I am in union with my soul, my true higher self. I have finally reached the sovereign mirror level of consciousness, or, putting it into another visual, I have leaped into level 6 of awareness, light, or number 4 in the tower. I'm finally no longer a sheep, and I am not part of the herd. I'm a sovereign mare in perfect health because I am in light vibration frequency. With the plants that surround me, I have clear evidence of life everywhere. I have consciously chosen the ascending crystal life spiral, leaving behind the Fibonacci death spiral. Consider viewing my many videos on this topic. In his book, The Trap, David describes the trap, how it works, and how we can escape its illusions. David has been writing books for decades, warning that current events were coming. His predictions over more than 30 years have been proven stunningly accurate since the turn of 2020, often down to the fine detail. Interesting that David used the fish in its fishbowl as the image for the cover of his book. Guy also used the fishbowl in many of her images. I particularly like this chart, finding the root of death. The human being must stop, make a 180-degree turn, and jump out of the fishbowl into the complete unknown. One of my favorite books written by David is Remember Who You Are. Remember where you are and where you've come from. Remember. This book was first published in January of 2012. I Remember Who I Am is one of Guy's most important charts. Note the I Remember key. This is a very complex chart. Please note in the need column, relationship. The associated fear is solitude, and the conflict is separation. This is what I have been struggling with up until now. In order to break out of the trap and not reincarnate yet again into the simulation matrix, I must raise the vibrational frequency of my body to the consciousness level of the wing mare, or number 7, enlightenment, on the roof of the tower. From that perspective, I can see all around me and not just through a window. I left my role in the play because the play is in the illusion. It is hell on earth with its 3 characters: the victim, the savior, and the culprit. In this play, there's constant drama. In the illusion, I am in separation, which leads to fear and war. The war is between me, the human, and my true self, my soul. This inner war is what eventually leads to death. Once I make the union between me and my higher self, I'm in love. And infinite love leads to peace, perfect health, and immortality. The mother said, I'm on earth because it is on earth that the divine work must be done, and for no other reason. I received this very precious gift from Mado, Sri Aurobindo, or The Adventure of Consciousness, by Satprem. On the last page, 364, it is written, Falsehood persist. In preaching to us the beyond, one must hurry up and do one's work here, says the mother. For it is here that one can really do it. Hope for nothing from death. Life is your salvation. It is here the transformation must be achieved. It is on earth that you progress. It is on earth that you realize. It is in the body that the victory is won. The first few lines of the conclusion. The supermind has entered the earth's consciousness, descended right down into the physical subconscious, at the frontiers of matter. There remains but one bridge to cross for the final linking up. A new world is born. At present, we are right at the midst of a transitional period in which the two are mingled. The old world persists, yet all-powerful, continuing to dominate the ordinary consciousness, and the new one slips in quietly, yet very shy, unobserved to the extent that externally it changes little for the moment. And yet it works, it grows, till one day it will be sufficiently strong to impose itself visibly. I extend my deepest gratitude to Mado. Thank you for the book Sri Aurobindo, or The Adventure of Consciousness. Thank you for being my greatest teacher and for writing the Personal Creatia booklets, as well as all the amazing articles on your website, tripletransformation.ca. Thank you for this precious chart of the 2 hemispheres of divine manifestation. Guy, thank you for all your books. The Medical Mafia, What the Hell Am I Doing Here Anyway? The Trial of the Medical Mafia, and Madame Guy escape in prison. Thank you for simplifying these complex topics, the creation of personal creatia booklets, and all the marvelous charts, images, and posters. These posters and charts decorate the fireplace in the living room, and in that way constantly remind me of who I am and what I am doing here on earth. Finally, and most importantly, I extend my gratitude to Bohdan and Marika. Thank you for agreeing to be the vehicles which produce this amazing, perfect body of mine. This body has served me extremely efficiently for over 62 years now. Thank you for the gift of perfect siblings. And most importantly, thank you for creating the perfect family environment as a Ukrainian Canadian for my most effective evolution of consciousness. You have both been there for me throughout my extreme challenges. You have never abandoned me, even though you could not understand me. Although I have now left the play in the triangle of hell, I will never forget that you have given me the gift of life. Infinite love. From millennium slavery to individual sovereignty. In the Orient, in the 20th century, Sri Aurobindo and the Mother discovered and anchored truth consciousness, the supramental consciousness, in the earthly atmosphere. Once well anchored, the new consciousness was ready to move on to the next stage, its popularization and propagation. In the West, in the 21st century, emerged personal creatia, the power of the sovereign person to govern oneself. Sri Aurobindo's integral yoga goes beyond individual liberation and embarks upon a collective transformation on earth. Sri Aurobindo synthesized the Eastern and Western ideas of evolution and boldly declared that humans are transitional beings. They're not final. Evolution continues, and humans will be surpassed. This is the future awaiting humanity. This is an unprecedented adventure of consciousness on earth. After Sri Aurobindo's passing, the Mother continued their work, and on February 29, 1956, she brought the supramental consciousness upon earth. One single and sincere look at the present world situation is enough to convince us that it has reached the point of no return. Humanity is heading to a monumental dead end. Let's stop repeating our obsolete ways, which can only bring more suffering. It is time to dream about the next step, the new eidesic species, and modify our actions to facilitate its imminent birth. Our destiny is in our own hands. If we choose to, we can create paradise on earth. Sri Aurobindo and the Mother enabled me to accept that Homo sapiens is a transitory species, and that the divine in me, soul, and in all things, spirit, is currently manifesting the ideal condition on earth for the creation of a new eidesic being. We are in the midst of this pivotal time where the old world is still apparent as the new divine matter grows within our very bodies. I'm out of the game. Like Truman in the Truman Show, I take my bow and leave the world of illusion. This computer simulation to which I have given authority to manage my life. I leave the theater where I have played time and time again the roles of disciple, daughter, parent, dentist, entrepreneur, citizen. Today, I devote myself fully and without limits to spreading individual sovereignty, the truth consciousness that I have been experiencing for the last 22 years. Infinite